back to another KPC Live, the Korean People and Culture channel with David Kim, your host. Over here, we do Korean society, controversies, issues, tea, K-pop news every single weekend. So, yes, if you haven't, please hit your subscribe button. And also, before we go on, I would like to ask you guys a huge favor. Hit that like button for me so more people can join us today live. So, yes, hey everybody, how's it going? It is currently 2 p.m. in Seoul, South Korea, and April 5th. Cherry blossoms have fully bloomed. The weather outside is splendid. I was kind of shocked for the past 5 minutes because I thought there was a war going on in Korea. Not joking. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you can subtly hear that sound of jet fighters, fighter jets, just flying in the background. But I searched it up on X, and apparently there's this like parade going on, like air parade. So yeah, false alarm. We're good to go. But yeah, let me know where you guys are all watching from today, what time it is, how's the weather over there, how you guys been. Long time no see, right? So yeah, what's good? I am doing great, Tanisha. Thank you for asking. And Kathy, hello. Hello, feel the vibes. Hello, everybody. Yeah, lovely weather, right? Sounds scary. Nah, it was a false alarm. It's good. North Carolina, 10 p.m. Okay. Yes, from Perth, Australia. Hello, East Coast, USA. All right. So, yeah, today we're going to cover a lot of news from the whole spectrum of Korea, from K-pop, as the first half of the live stream, and on to Korean society and issues. So, to give you a little peek of what we're going to be covering today, starting with NCT's Mark, on to Manon from Katseye, T.O.P from Big Bang and the Big Bang members, BTS 2.0 and their old boy homage, and Hybe receiving backlash for an army bomb merch. All right. Ooh, and Jennie with her bikini collection. All right. Trot and K-pop Demon Hunters 2. Okay, what's that? Hybe's Latin boy group Santos Bravos to make a debut, and then flavored soju is coming back. Oh, no, I have my opinion on that. And okay, everybody's been talking about this all over the world, the Strait of Hormuz and the Iran war going on with President Trump, saying South Korea is not being helpful. Uh-oh. Yeah, Pharmacies on the rise. Kanye West prank in Korea sparking racism backlash. Ooh. Korea's most iconic gate bearing a Chinese sign. Yoon receiving over 800K in inmate funds. Oh. English kindergartens are now being maybe banned. All right. Kakao Talk suddenly surging in Russia. What's going on in Russia over there? And jobs are being taken by AI. So, yeah, we're going to be covering all this news. As I told you, first half is always K-pop, latter half is going to be Korean society. So, all right, make sure to like and subscribe. And hello, the Bard, Sweden, 7 a.m. All right. Yeah, Seattle, 10 p.m. LA, it's warm out. Okay. Sydney, we're only an hour ahead of Seoul as of today. Okay, hello, Style Gene. Yes. Without further ado, let's just go straight into today's news. As usual, with the K-pop news, everybody loves K-pop, right? So what's happening? Actually, there's quite a lot happening this week. It isn't a slow news week, after all, because Mark of NCT suddenly announced that he's leaving the group and SM. Yeah, this is very, very shocking news. Mark, the Korean Canadian member of NCT under SM Entertainment, will leave both the group and the agency after deciding not to renew his exclusive contract, the company said Friday, and the announcement came as a surprise to fans as the details of Mark's contract period had not been publicly disclosed and there had been no prior indication of his departure. After a long period of careful and thoughtful discussion with Mark regarding his future activities, we have mutually agreed to conclude his exclusive contract as of April 8th, SM Entertainment said in a statement, and Mark will conclude all activities as a member of of NCT, including NCT 127 and NCT Dream. So it's official. Mark put out a letter, a heartfelt letter to his fans and to his members addressing why he is leaving. And bottom line, he is pursuing his dream. He touches like his roots on why he wanted to become an idol in the first place, what kind of dream he was chasing for the past 10 years. So he debuted in 2016 and it's 2026. So it's been 10 years. He's been a leader. He's been one of the most active among the NCT universe over there. He's been in NCT Dream and Super M and all that. So yeah, he's definitely been busy. He's definitely done his fair share, but apparently, according to the letter, he wants to pursue his dream of like freely performing music, maybe in the streets in the form of busking. He did specifically mention that, and also, writing English literature or novels or nonfiction, whatever it might be. He has passion in writing. So yeah, we don't know what's going to happen from now on, but Mark is now quitting NCT. So that is very sad. Apparently, there are some rumors circulating on social media, try to speculate the real reason on why he is so abruptly leaving. There are some rumors about like him being engaged with a certain religion or something, but because of that rumor, that spiraling out a little bit bigger than it seems like, the members actually came out. Doyoung and other members like Jeno all came out writing letters and reassuring fans, saying that, let's not make any speculations. The members have all went through discussions and they're all, they've all aligned with Mark. So, yeah. Let's not make any speculations at the end of the day. And as BTS 7+1 says, it's his decision, contract over. Why is there drama? I guess there isn't a lot of drama, but fans are just taken by surprise because all the other members have remained in SM, and he's always been a big pillar of NCT. And just the fact that he's leaving is definitely a big shock to the fans, right? Yeah, so hello, Chu Yang. Okay. Mark needed this break from all his work from SM. Can't wait to see him in his next chapter. Exactly. Yeah, I wish the best for him as well too. Obviously, like there's no contract bounding him, so I don't see any legal drama or conflict over here. It's his choice. Maybe he was just too tired of being an idol. Like idols definitely have a very meticulous, very compact schedule that they have to abide to, like with the training, with the promos, with the activities, the world tours, um, everything. Yeah, so if you're not a superhuman, you're not built to be an idol. Speaking of, actually, there's also Manon from Katseye. Katseye was pretty much in a good, I guess, trajectory. They were becoming very, very popular, and this is a shock as well too. So there were a little bit of hints that Manon was going to leave Cat's Eye. It still isn't official yet, but all the hints are concluding towards Manon's official leaving from Cat's Eye. So yes, if you look at the article over here, speculation is growing whether Manon of Katseye is leaving the group after the Swiss member removed the group name from her social media profile. So yeah, this at this point it's just assumptions, but I think it's a strong assumption here because why would an active member of a band, idol group, actually delete the group name from her social media, right? After following all this negative context beef with Hype. So as of Friday afternoon, Manon's Instagram profile reads only Mademoiselle Manzanita, with no mention of Katseye. And Hybe, which created the multinational girl group with Geffen Records, had previously said she was on hiatus due to a health issue. The company declined to comment on the more recent speculation. However, it confirmed to the Korea Herald that Manon would not. Actually, this part changed. This article changed. And as of now, right now, everything's not confirmed. So Coachella is coming up, and Cat's Eye is supposed to be performing in Coachella. And right now, Hybe has officially said that they cannot comment on that. So yeah, we don't know. And the people are saying she's probably not going to participate. And it's going to probably lead to her being out of the group. Yes. Um, in the past few weeks, there have been allegations on like racism or discrimination within the group towards her being, I guess, you know, ethnically or what do you call it? Uh, um, 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 uh, Ethnical minority, I guess. But yeah, there have been ping pong opinions about that fact, saying like, oh, ethnical minorities, there's like Asians there too. It's a multinational group. There's a Indian member too, blah 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 blah. So yeah, but you can feel racism. You can face it, even though you're in a multinational group. So nobody will know the truth. But yeah, there have been sightings on where Manon has liked certain posts that uh, talk about racism. So, something might be cooking inside. Uh, so we don't know what it is, but hopefully it's nothing that bad. But yeah, it's been shocking to a lot of K-pop fans for the past few weeks because on top of Manon and on top of Mark, there was also N-Hypen's Heeseung. So a lot of members have been leaving K-pop groups recently. As for Mark, I think it's a different situation because yeah, it was a just a contract renewal case, and he didn't, and he just decided to leave. However, seeing single members just leaving groups have become more frequent, and they just seem to come out of the blue in the perspective of a fan. So a lot of people are caught by surprise, and people are like, "Oh no, what if this becomes a norm?" Right? If she doesn't want to do work, stop trying to keep her. I don't see it as negative on Hybe's part. They have given her plenty of leeway as far as taking time off. Yeah, we don't know what's going on in the inside. Well, if both parties align with what they want, if she wants to leave and Hybe is no longer doing business with her, no longer wants to do business with her, then yeah, all for the best, right? Hello, Benedicta. Since been a while since being able to catch a live stream, right? Yeah, since I changed my live stream time. Appreciate you catching it very early in the morning. Okay. Just in case the last N in Manon's last name is silent, like Manon. It's very hard to pronounce for Manon, but I'll try my best. Manon. Then what do you do when there's like a apostrophe S there? Manons or Manons? Anyways, okay. But on to the next news. Speaking of people leaving, there's someone who returned, which is T.O.P. So T.O.P, the former member of Big Bang, the rapper, dropped another dimension ahead of Big Bang's Coachella anniversary stage. He also dropped a music video called Desperado. It's very artistic. It's very interesting. So go check it out. So yeah, he dropped a full album. There are 11 songs. You can check it out. What caught the buzz is that while he came back, everybody's curiosity was pointed on whether the Big Bang members would form a group again as four. However, However, according to T.O.P's new lyrics in his new songs, he is really cutting ties with Big Bang's past, and I think it's pretty clear cut if you look at the lyrics. Let's look at a little bit of lyrics over here from the song Ovaya. You can see, I'm so sorry, but I loved my old Big Bang back in the day. Even after losing so much, no hesitation, let it go. It's beautiful when we each go our own way. It was flashy, but game over. Uh, Leaving it all as a legendary past, starting fresh. I'm so sorry, but I love it, but I'm leaving Big Bang. This is a reference to I'm so sorry, but I love you, Tagochimar. Big Bang's Lies, right? There's a line like that. Also, it keeps on going. Happier as five, heavy dreams buried deep in my heart. I'll make them something more beautiful. I'm over, I'm over. That yellow light you once shined on me. Happier as five. I'll make them something more beautiful. It goes on, I'm so sorry, but I loved Big Bang in my 20s. He directly just quotes it over there, say less. However, despite all of this bittersweet lyrics, Taeyang, Youngbae, and also GD, XXI by G Dragon, and also Taesung, all three members of the current Big Bang, shout out T.O.P and his new album on their Instagram socials, showing their heartfelt love and affection for the past member and their hyung, right? So we really wanted a full Big Bang, four bang in Coachella, but T.O.P is very firm on his stance, and I can totally respect that after all these years. You know, maybe he just doesn't want to be in a group. Yeah, just like Mark, just like Manon, whatever. Some people might not just be fit for a group, or they might have personal reasons. They might have health issues, mental health issues. T.O.P's been in a very tough spot for the last, 10 years, I would say. He did rebound pretty well with Squid Game and Thanos and that role, which actually kind of made him some leeway to come back, in my opinion, with his artistic pursuit. However, I don't think it was enough for him to make up his mind to go back on everything and rejoin Big Bang. So that's a big loss as a VIP. I am very, very sad, but at the end of the day, you have to respect the individual's own intentions, right? I'm happy to see T.O.P releasing music. It's nice to see others supporting him as well, too. Yes, exactly. So cool that he's putting out music again. Yeah, Danny and I actually did a review on his album and his Desperado comeback. And I think we have similarities in thinking that he's doing whatever the hell he wants. He's not catering towards the public, nor the commercialism, nor the Western audience, nor anything. Like, he's rapping in his own style. He's doing whatever he wants. He's not even channeling the Thanos character. He's just throwing out stuff he wants to do. So yeah, respect with that. He's a true artist. All right. So yeah, anyways, it's good to see the Big Bang members shouting them out, but on to another news. Like, this broke the internet this week. So BTS, they came back with fun things to catch in their new MV 2.0. So obviously it was an homage to Old Boy, the epic film of Park Chan-wook. But look at this. Look at this. 2.0. It's one of my favorite music videos from BTS so far. And I love the choreography. I love the references. I love the lighting. I love the vibes. Look at all this. Oh my gosh, he's a beautiful being, right? So this article actually shows you some reference points from Old Boy itself, like this corridor scene. It's an iconic fighting scene if you've watched Old Boy. So Odesu, the main character, just like makes his way through with his iconic hammer and fights these like 20 plus people all by themselves. BTS made a reference to that over here, trying to be like gangstas. Yeah, it's a scene, very iconic scene. If you haven't seen Old Boy, I would highly recommend if you're an adult and if you're good with kind of traumatic and depressing and grotesque films. It's pretty gruesome in my opinion. But yeah, the BTS version is pretty cool over here, right? They got all the props, right? If you see in the background, you can see the fried dumplings. Oldesu, the main character of Old Boy, had to eat for 15 years straight. At the last scene over here, BTS dances at the penthouse where the villain of, I mean, it's hard to say he's a villain. Yeah, he is a villain of Old Boy, is doing yoga at his penthouse. They recreated the whole scene, right? So that's cool. And JK's facial acting here is actually imitating Korean comedian Kwak Bum, who parodies Chung Woo-sung's acting from this drama over here. This is a very viral parody, this comedian. Every time I see it, I crack up. He's very good at following. How do you slant your eye, like one eye like this? And he looks totally different, right? He looks nothing that handsome like Chung Woo-sung, but he just transformed into Chung Woo-sung in a moment just by following him, right? JK, like, practicing how to do it. Yeah, that was a viral moment on the internet. So this is the original, and he followed that. A lot of people said he was maybe following the Hongdae Boy, but nah, this was the original. And also, yeah, Hobie with his glasses, his gangsta glasses over here, Better Tomorrow vibes. RM giving major Park Seo-joon vibes, yeah. And even Park Seo-joon's mom got confused whether if it's her son or RM. That was funny. And V with the mustache and beard. This is crazy. I thought he looked like Katabaden. Yeah, that was crazy. And yeah, he spoiled how he looked in this MV. Yeah, Jin using a back scratcher, like Hyojason and all that. So it's very chaotic energy. It's very iconic. So I recommend you guys checking it out. Yeah, I did a reaction on my channel in the live tab. So go check out my live reaction as well too. But yeah, it's 2.0. It's a great song, great choreography. I've been trying to follow the choreography, but I suck at dancing. Anyways, yes, if you've been liking this stream so far, please don't forget to hit that like button. V looking so good. Yes, V looked like a completely different person. JK lives for his memes, exactly. And as for Old Boy, again, I think it won the Grand Prix award back then, and it's a cinematic masterpiece. I definitely recommend you guys watching it if you're into cinema. However, again, it's very traumatic after you watch it, and there's a big plot twist. So I will not spoil it, but once you learn the plot twist, you might feel like you want to throw up. So beware of that. I warned you. Nevertheless, it got so much appraisal from the international critics and the movie, the cinema community because of how much it was a masterpiece, how well it was produced, how well it was shot, the storyline itself, the shock of the plot twist. So I recommend you guys watching it. Yeah. All right, so on to the next news. So this one is related to K-pop, but it's been quite of a controversy society-wise. So, this is official merch from HYBE for the BTS Arirang promo. And BTS has dropped new merch alongside their fifth studio album, to which one of the items with the wording is, "This is not a bomb." And it's causing online controversy. You can see this over here. Its original intent is to hold a light stick. And as everybody knows, BTS's light stick is called an army bomb, right? So it's a comedic twist on that. It's wordplay, right? It's army bomb, but it's actually not a bomb, right? But a lot of people were triggered about this merch, saying stuff like, "Genuinely, what's wrong with people who designed this? I don't see anything funny about it," downplaying the problems and once again forcing the fandom to buy things they won't be able to wear anywhere anyway, and if it will be sold out, then y'all are the problem too. Like, genuinely, this is so funny, but who in the merch team did not do their research? Because 98% of the fandom cannot carry this shit around in real life. Armies every tour season going through TSA. It's a light stick. It's a light stick. It's a light stick. BTS, here's your new army bomb carrying case. This is really insensitive. This bag is Israel brand made by Israel people, yet not a single. I don't know about the Israel part. I can't really, yeah, talk about that because this is not verified, but according to this person, it is. I think a lot of people are forgetting that this isn't a standard bag. It's made for your light stick, which means it's gonna be molded inside just for that. It's not made to just carry around with you randomly. And more people I've seen on TikTok and Instagram, yeah, triggered and beefing with this merch. So I understand their standpoint. It could be tone deaf, especially when the United States right now is actually in a full-fledged war with Iran, and the whole world is very sensitive with bombs, right? There's been bombings everywhere in Iran, Dubai, and all over the world. Also, the U.S. having a very, very tragic incident back in the was it the early 2000s? Yeah. And yeah, TSA definitely be strict in the US. So I understand. Um however, yeah, the US folks and everyone around the world don't have to buy it, obviously. It's their choice. Apparently, it was sold out for a moment. I think they restocked it or something, or maybe people canceled it. But as for Asia, as far as it goes for bombs, honestly, first of all, no one would actually understand what that means. uh, I mean, they would, but they would really take a close look at some English printing on a bag. And also, there we don't have guns, we don't have bombs over here, so I think it will be pretty much okay in Korea at least. So yeah, I get the intent of what the design team was doing. They're trying to do wordplay and make a comic spin in it, but it backfired, and people aren't happy about it. What are your thoughts about it? Yeah, I get the joke, but realistically, it's not practical. 2001, yes. I did not vote for the Cheeto? What was that? Hmm. Okay. I understand why people might be upset. Also, it might trigger some security concerns at sensitive places. Yes. That is an expensive bag for your army bomb. That's what I've been saying. I mean, more than the joke itself, I think the price is more controversial. Why do you want to buy a $55 bag that just carries your light stick, right? Anyways, yeah. So this has been a little bit of controversy here and there. But we have better stuff to look into. Ooh, wow. Okay, I'm just gonna be, chilling over here. So behind the scenes, that is the collection. Okay. Frankie's Bikinis gave us a closer look. Oh wow. Let me just like not talk for a few seconds. Okay. Oh wow. That's beautiful. I mean the ocean view. Oh, wow. She's so cute. I mean, the golden retriever, right? Wow. Oh, wow. That's very sexy. I mean, the pickup truck, right? Wow. And ooh, okay. All right. Wow. Look at that dog. Hmm. Suspicious dog. Hmm. Okay, the motorcycle. Wow, okay. It would be great to, yeah, be that motorcycle. Okay. Oh, wow. I want to be that fence. Yeah, yeah, I want to be that beach. Yeah, anyways. Stunning, stunning. Very hot. The thing about Jennie is, don't take it wrong, okay? Like, I'm in no way trying to like yeah, say anything bad about her. But the thing is, like when you look at Jennie and like her bikinis or her outfits, her like her performance outfits on stage and concerts and all, they're very like revealing and they have a lot of like skin showing and whatnot. But it doesn't really look sexy to me. Not in a bad way, okay? Like let me put some buffers there. She doesn't really look like hot and sexy and you're not like, oh my gosh, over it. It's more like charismatic, you know? It's like more empowering or it gives a more of like a warrior kind of vibe. Like she looks just so cool in those looks. She just rocks them. Whereas like it would be very awkward for some other celebrities if they were in the same kind of looks and outfits with like a lot of cleavage or butt cheeks showing and all that, being all short. It would be kind of awkward or sometimes even embarrassing, but Jennie just rocks those looks and she doesn't even look like it's not like sexual or anything to me. Like I look at it and I'm like, wow, it's just so cool, you know? Yeah. You get it, right? You get what I'm saying, right? Yes, true. A dog can never be suspicious. Yeah. Very Jennie. Yeah. So yeah, that was a nice intermission over here. It was like my number 29. Oh, but this is some very interesting news. So K-pop Demon Hunters, the Netflix has officially stated that there is going to be a season 2 of K-pop Demon Hunters, and people have been wondering what is going to be the content in K-pop Demon Hunters? Is Rumi and Huntrix still going to be there? Are the Saja boys going to be there? What are they going to sing? Blah, blah, blah. But we might have something very unexpected Trot? Really? Trot might be coming to the sequel of K-pop Demon Hunters. On April 1st, the cast of K-pop Demon Hunters visited Korea holding their Oscar trophies. And when asked about the sequel, directors Chris Applehands and Maggie Kang kept things low-key, saying they wanted to keep it a secret, but Applehands did hint that Korean elements will still be the soul of the sequel, adding that they want to build a new story rooted deeply in Korean culture. Maggie Kang also shared that she wanted to give Korea a film that truly represents its culture and mentioned that genres like trot and even heavy metal could be introduced in the sequel. It's very suspicious that she actually dropped those two genres, right? I mean, maybe she would have been giving like random examples out of her head, on the top of her head, but still, maybe she's considering it, right? She also teased that it'll be bigger and packed with more events than the first film. If the universe is expanding like this, a trot-based group in the sequel, yeah, maybe, because trot is super super popular in Korea. I don't listen to it, but it's undeniable that trot is one of the most popular genres in Korea. Uh, Obviously divided by demographics. The older audience definitely loves trot. We have our own Korean. No, that's a weird way to say it. We have the elderly version of BTS in Korea here. His name is Im Young. He's almost as influential as BTS status in Korea as BTS is to like the younger generation. Im Young is crazy. Yeah, he's Mr. Trot, and he sells out stadiums with elderly people. I'm not kidding. 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds, 60 and above, they all flock to World Cup stadiums and they fill the whole seats and they have their own light sticks and they watch this one man sing Trot. It's crazy. Yeah. Apparently he's the same age as me. Yeah, what am I doing with my life? My grandma is a huge fan of Im Young. So yeah, if you know a little bit of Korean culture, you would know that trot is super popular. And you go to like rest stops in the highway, you'll always see these random ajashis and harabojis in their trucks selling illegal trot CDs, and they're them playing it. So whenever you go to these restaurant stops to get some food and go to the bathroom, you feel like you're in some kind of trot world because of those background music. Yeah. Armies have had to go. Armies had to go to war with this fandom before. It was so funny. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you're fighting in Korea and if it's a domestic fight, if you're up against Im Young, if it's not BTS, I don't think any other group would be able to compete with Im Young's fandom because that they aren't even tech savvy. They don't even know how to use the internet that well. But you'd be surprised in their fan cafes, they have like step to step guidelines from how to open your phone. Go register on Naver and then go to a fan cafe, press on this link, and then go to this site, vote, blah 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 blah. And then if you can't do it, please ask your granddaughter or your daughter or your whatever and make them vote. And then while you're doing it, steal your granddaughter's phone as well too and register with her ID and vote for Im Young. So like this is real stuff happening, you know. Who is that, David? Can you show a picture? Oh, you guys don't know Im Young? All right, I'll show you a picture. I mean, yeah, he's a good-looking guy. Uh, yeah, he is good looking, but more than his looks, it's more about like his singing. He just, you know, it's this dude. It's this dude. Like, look at this stadium all by himself. These are all elderly people. I wouldn't say like all, but 99% elderly people. This is crazy. And if you see, like, the funny thing after his concert is outside of the stadium, there are so many 20s to 30s people waiting outside looking at their phones. And all they're doing is waiting for their mom or dad to come out to take them back home. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was an Im Young figure in K-pop Demon Hunters, if there was like a Mr. Trot figure in K-pop Demon Hunters. Like, after seeing that article, I think there might be, you know? It's not the Saja boys anymore. It could be a Mr. Trot. Yeah, it could be a Mr. Trot group. Im Young-woon was the king of Mr. Trot, so that's why he got so much fame. But yeah, we could see something like this, right? This kind of looks like Dynamite, doesn't it? His fans are literally 60 plus, yes, including my grandma too. He won a trot competition, exactly. Yeah. It's the reverse Taylor Swift concert experience. Yep. So yeah, be on the lookout for K-pop Demon Hunters 2, and if there's trot, remember this live stream and David covering it, right? So yeah, if you like this kind of news, please don't forget to hit that like button. And if you want to support me, super chats, PayPals, buy me a coffee, all appreciated. And in the meantime, let me shout out to Benedicta. Thank you so much for the $25 on PayPal. Woohoo! Thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate the support. And also, Gilori, thank you so much for buying me a pizza. Watch you all the time on YouTube. You're doing a great job. Keep up the great work. Tell BTS I said hello if you bump into him. Thanks for your precious time. Marion of Texas. Okay, Silver Army. All right, thank you so much for buying me a pizza. Yes. Okay, dokie. Okay, dokie. Yeah, so going on to the next news, a little global news in terms of music. Hybe's Latin boy group Santos Bravos is making a Korea debut. Oh, wow. So what's very interesting is it starts globally. The HQ is in Latin America, and then they're being imported back into Korea, where Hybe's HQs are. So I wouldn't say it's K-pop. It's definitely not K-pop, but making a Korea debut, like what in the world is happening over here, right? Santos Bravos, the Latin pop boy group under Hybe, is set to make its first appearance on Korean music shows since its debut. This is only possible because it's Hybe. Hybe has all the connections and the strings, and because of that, they are able to contact the producers and hook these guys into the Korean shows. Not that I'm like against it or anything, not that I'm salty about it, but it is a truth that like these Nugu groups or the rookie groups, there's so many, like thousands of them, they are dying for a spot in one of these like music shows. And again, nothing against like Santos Bravos, okay? Like, you know, good for them, right? All I'm saying, it's the truth is it's hard to be on these shows. According to Hybe Latin America, the group will arrive in Korea on Friday and stay for about 3 weeks to carry out various promotional activities, including performances on local music programs. Promoting in Korea, the birthplace of K-pop, is a meaningful challenge for us, Santos Bravo said. We want to present great performances with respect while proudly showcasing our Latin roots. If anything, I'm actually very supportive towards this act because I don't think it's going to be a regular one. It's not stealing any jobs or stealing any slots. If anything, I think it's adding more diversity to the musical spectrum and just exposing Korean people, the mostly Korean audience, right, to a more diverse style of music. So yeah, it's going to be fun, I feel like. Right. People don't like being limited in types of music by region anymore. Exactly. Yeah, I hope the Grammys and Billboard take notes, right? They got to really downsize their like radio portions in the scoreboard. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, anyways, looking forward to Santos Bravos. Check out their music videos. That was pretty interesting news on how that worked out. But on to the society part of today's stream. Just gulp down some water over there. But I am very opinionated on this particular subject. Okay, I'm ready to trigger a lot of people. So Hype Jinro's melon flavored soju hits overseas markets. Hype Jinro said Friday it has launched Jinro Melon Limited Edition and export only soju. Oh, thank God it's export only. Yeah, Please leave that out of our shelves in Korea. Only soju product combining sweet melon flavor with the fresh taste of soju as the company seeks to capitalize on growing global demand for flavored alcoholic drinks. And I am being very judgmental here, even without tasting this. And you'd be like, how do you know it's so bad even without tasting it? Because I do. Jinro Melon is the seventh fruit flavor. They're making these atrocities in their lineup, and the fifth available exclusively overseas, following plum, strawberry, peach, and lemon varieties. The product was launched late last month in countries including the US, Japan, Vietnam, Australia. Yeah, let them all have it, okay? You guys have fun with their fruit sojus. 20 countries worldwide. Why am I so against fruit soju? Because first of all, it's disgusting. Hear me out. Original soju itself is disgusting too. My logic is the original just green soju without any taste tastes like nail polisher. I wouldn't say that's particularly good, necessarily good. I hate soju from the beginning. I don't drink soju that much. If I had any choice, I would go to like whiskey, highball, gin, whatever. If it's not soju, I'm fine with. But soju is Korea's sole alcohol, and if you're in certain settings and hwesheks and company meetings, or you're meeting like you have a depressed friend or whatever, soju just sets the mood. And yeah, that's why we drink it. And we're all gaslit by the media because like all depressed and laid off and broken up couples always go to these pojang matchas, and there's always like a elderly lady selling fish cake and tteokbokki, and there's like, oh, soju 한 병이요, one soju, and then they get the soju, not the J Park one soju, one soju bottle, they get the soju, and they're all like, and then they're like, oh, why did he dump me? And all that. So we're all gaslit by media to drink soju. As a matter of fact, the Gen Z is actually departing away from soju. They hate the taste as well, too. So anyways, the baseline is that soju is disgusting to begin with. Why would you freaking mix artificial sweet flavors to a disgusting thing? That's disgusting plus disgusting means disgusting, right? Mixing in melon or fruit or plum or strawberry, peach, whatever it is, flavor to a disgusting artificial nail polisher doesn't make it not nail polisher. So if you're gonna drink nail polisher anyways, just drink it straight. Like why do you mix in lemon? If you had, like, imagine you have nail polisher in front of you and you had to drink it. You have no choice. Would you just drink it and just like leave it and just set it aside, or would you go and squeeze some lemon, lemon strawberry, some garnish, mint, and then put it in? So good. No. But okay, I'm gonna get canceled by this because I know for a fact, after doing a lot of empirical research in the States, going to K-Town, going to a lot of international cities and going to K-Town and visiting these restaurants. Recently, I was in Singapore as well, too. Apparently, foreigners love fruited soju. This is why I'm trying to trigger you guys, because I hate it. I don't know why, but foreigners love fruited soju. Apparently it tastes good to them. I do admit there is like a sweetening effect, and it's like neutralizes the bitter and the disgusting taste to some extent, but it just feels artificial. There are certain sodas that I do not vibe with that feel too artificial to me. And it feels like those kind of sodas. Like, I can't really name any sodas right off my head right now, but for example, I don't know, what was that? Like, recently I had the A&J root beer with the ice cream float on it, and I won't say that tastes artificial, but it kind of tasted like ginseng or some kind of medicine. But anyways, like, there are some sodas that I do not vibe with. And the fruit sojus kind of taste like that. So, yeah, if there was a Coca-Cola and if there was a Dr. Pepper, you know, you chose Coca-Cola because it tastes less artificial in my opinion. This is only my opinion and I'm entitled to it. But it just feels like that to me, right? Um it's kind of like a cocktail with a flavored soju. Yeah, I guess. I guess. But I still don't get the hype. I don't know why. So this is the interesting thing about global marketing and global business. You can have a flopping project or product in Korea domestically. People hate this shit, and you just export it, and magically it becomes the shit. You know, like this is very interesting to me because in Korea, you go to any restaurant out here, you will rarely see any fruited soju, fruit flavored soju. If you ask for like plum soju, they'd be like, "We don't have that shit," or they give you the side eye, like, "You're really asking for plum fruit soju?" They'll be judgmental towards you. I mean, if you go to like Gangnam or like these big restaurants and pubs, they might have some fruit soju flavors, but normally they don't. Normally, yeah. A and W. Yes, thanks for correcting me. Is the yogurt one meant to be milkus? I don't know. Let's not even get into yogurt. Green grape soju. Holy moly. Oh my gosh. That's already giving me a headache. And you know what? These fruit flavored sojus give you a really bad hangover. This is by experience. Because we had this fruit flavored soju craze back in 2013. We had this new brand. It's actually the OG fruit flavor brand called Sunhari. And it was the first fruit flavored soju that came out from that brand was the yuzu. It was really good. It was really good, but then word started spreading, and actually I experienced as well too. Everybody wanted to drink only that back then, in 2013 specifically. I think it was 2013, probably around that time. Everybody only wanted that. You couldn't even get your hands on these yuzu flavored soju. And then once everybody started drinking it, word spread that it gives you a worse hangover than the original soju. So people started not drinking it, and the company started, you know, diversifying and experimenting with plum, raspberry, lemon, blah 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 blah. But it didn't work out. It just like died out in the Korean market. But they found a place in the international market, right? Yuzu is so good. Yeah, back in the day it was okay. It was okay. But sorry for triggering you guys. It's just my own opinion. Does beer make the soju any better, Somek? In my opinion, yes. I prefer Somek than soju. Like, yeah. Korean beer is disgusting. Korean soju is disgusting. They're very cheap alcohol. It's not good for you. They're basically like mixers. Yeah. So, anyways, all I think is the unique pro of a Korean alcohol is only the vibes and the sentimental value that's attached towards it. Other than that, if you go into like the elements and the substances of the alcohol itself, it's all freaking trash. There you go. Yeah. But yeah, that was my little rant on the melon flavored soju. I got triggered seeing that. Something is triggering me as well. It's a heavy topic, but let me know so far about the 26 Korean ships stranded in the Strait of Hormuz. A total of 26 Korean-flagged vessels remain stranded in the Strait of Hormuz, carrying some 600 crew members, including 136 Korean nationals. An additional 37 Koreans are abroad, 11 foreign-flagged ships, bringing the total number of stranded Korean nationals in the waterway to 173. What's Iran's stance? Ambassador said, Korean press that Korea is non-hostile, suggesting that the current blockade is linked to Korea's extensive trade ties with the U.S. Exact figures are difficult to determine, but the Korea's Ship Owners Association estimates the 26 stranded Korean vessels are collectively losing over 1.43 million per day. $1.43 million per day. Even if Korea decides to pay the transit fees, the annual cost for its refiners alone would exceed $700 million. The presidential office on Thursday afternoon dismissed as groundless local media reports that Korea is cautiously considering paying transit fees, saying the matter is not under consideration. So apparently, if you want to pay these transit fees, you cannot pay in US dollars anymore. They are only accepting the Chinese yuan or their own local currency. So, President Lee Jae-myung instructed the Ministries of Oceans and Fisheries and Foreign Affairs on April 1st to take all possible measures to secure the passage and to explore alternative routes, including transporting crude oil via the Red Sea. So, yeah, why is this all happening? Well, I won't really say why this is all happening because you guys know the answer. It's very stressful. It's very stressful. I went to the supermarket yesterday and first world problems, I know, but they weren't selling plastic bags because we're seeing a shortage of plastic bags due to oil not being supplied to our country. And the oil prices at the gas stations are crazy. I am definitely not driving anywhere. And yeah, something caused this whole problem. And now that some person is giving it straight back to us, saying like you guys solved the problem by yourselves. Like you're on your own now. Like we might have caused the issue, but like you can solve it by yourselves, right? Yeah, right? Yeah. A certain person is saying South Korea is not helpful, pressuring allies on Hormuz as always risk. And the certain person called out South Korea, Japan, China, and the European nations, all of them, called them out, calling on them to take a greater role in securing the Strait of Hormuz. The question is, what did we do? Why? Because we're allies? I mean, allies are allies, but we're defensive allies, right? Did we agree in starting a war? Like, what's happening over here? What, like, shit happened, and then now we have to go clean the shit? So, like, it's very hard to understand right now. I'm not usually very vocal about politics, but I'm kind of triggered. And, oh wow, this is a big honor, right? He specifically singled out Korea, which has taken a cautious stance towards his appeal for naval assistance to secure the strait, saying, Korea is not helpful to Washington despite the presence of U.S. troops stationed in harm's way near North Korea's nuclear arsenal. Let the European countries do it. Let South Korea, who is not helpful to us, by the way. You know, we only have 45,000 soldiers in harm's way over there. That's an inflated number, by the way. Right next to a nuclear force. Let South Korea do it, he said. And then he mentioned Japan. He mentioned China. He mentioned Europe. I don't know what's going on, to be honest. Now, it's one thing that we're bloodshed allies and the U.S. basically liberated Korea and we're living in a free world, free country, thanks to the U.S., thanks to the Korean War, and thanks to the veterans. So we're eternally in debt. Nobody in Korea denies that. But as the administrations change and how U.S. policies change, especially in terms of warfare and conflict and global conflict, do we have to be blindly supportive towards everything the U.S. does, regardless of every single administration? I don't think so. I think, we have the right to be critical against very unhelpful acts around the world that is creating a lot of chaos and casualties and deaths and tragedies. So yeah, our country is now being very careful. Of course, we are one of the strongest allies with the US along with Japan. Japan is also very confused as well too on what to do. We're trying to stall some time over here. That's basically the strategy, but it seems to have not worked because one guy is very sad that we haven't stepped up to help him. But yeah, it's very tough times for Korea over here. I'm sure for other nations in the world. Yep. So it's very, very concerning. It's very stressful. Our economy, in particular the stock market, is being very, very affected. There have been a lot of allegations that a certain someone might have been capitalizing over war and the timing of his announcements connected to war, which coincidentally match with the opening of the stock market, of the U.S. stock market, and the closing of the U.S. stock market, and the weekends and all that. So it's very coincidental. Of course, Korea is taking all those direct hits. You know, our stock market was at an all-time high, and it's all of a sudden plummeting at 20%, 30%. Samsung is down 30% right now, even though we're in an AI super semiconductor super cycle. Uh, yeah, because oil prices are surging, global uncertainty, there's war in the air. We don't know what to do. The Korean won is rising. Yeah, so I don't know at this point. Yeah, my account, my stock portfolio is heavily hit as well too. Although though I believe in BTS, so I put a lot of money into Hybe recently, so hopefully it rebounds, but because of the war, Hybe stocks are down too. So yeah. hmm Anyways. Uh, right. Yeah, I usually don't talk politics, religion, or mothers, my off topics as well too, but I just expressed a little bit of frustration over here because nowadays I feel like, I don't even know what's going on anymore. Yeah, time to go back to Busan and farm rice, David. Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah. Okay, let's go to good old pharmacies. So, this is something new. K pharmacies are becoming a must stop for visitors in Korea. So, if you're planning a visit to Korea, this might be interesting because not only Olive Young, but Korean cosmetics and medicine is pretty good quality. They have functional skincare, health supplements, beauty spaces, they're transforming into them. And hotspots like Myeongdong, Hongdae pharmacies aren't just for buying medicine anymore. They've become the part of global shopping route for visitors. And they have warehouse style pharmacies now. They have very hybrid spaces, which is between a beauty store and a pharmacy and Olive Young. And they're calling them drugstore pharmacies now. So this is a new concept in Korea. So if you see this yak over here, pharmacy, you'll see either this Chinese character or this Korean word. It means medicine. If you see anything like this, you'll see a traditional style pharmacy. It's like they have a counter, they have a pharmacist, they have some little bandages and like vitamin C and supplements, little shelf, and then everything's like, you know, behind the counter and you need a prescription to get like medicine. Of course, you still need a prescription to actually get prescribed medicine even at these drugstores, but the difference is like here there is so much variety of all the supplements, all the non-prescribed drugs you can get. They are bought in bulk, so you can get it at a discounted price. There's so much fun looking around. It's like a superstore. It's like Olive Young, basically. They sell skincare products. They sell supplements. You can get omega-3. You can get whatever. So it's very interesting. The reason I brought this is not only just introducing you that this is new, but apparently the traditional conventional pharmacies are protesting against this. They're saying the democratization of pharmacies and medicine, even though it's legal, there's totally nothing illegal about this, like these warehouse style pharmacies. These pharmacists and an association is saying, yeah, it could be a slippery slope. I honestly do not have any expertise to talk about this, but if it's legally okay, and we're living in a free market where competition is free, I feel like this is a new business model that a lot of people are liking and a lot of people are feeling that it's convenient. So I think the pharmacists are talking out of their own interest, thinking that they might, go extinct because people flock to bigger, nicer, cleaner places which have discounted prices. And it's a dilemma. I understand their pain point, like they're small retailers. And the same controversy occurred when these supermarkets like Costco or E-Mart or Shinsegae, whatever, E-Mart traders popped up here and there. The conventional traditional markets and the merchants over there protested a lot, saying like, oh no, these supermarkets are going to ruin the economy and we're going to lose our livelihood and jobs and stuff like that. But I know it's unfortunate, but that's how the world improves and develops. And you gotta adapt to that, unfortunately. And to be fair, like it's very hard for these people to transition into different businesses when they're like very in an old age, so I understand. So the government actually gives them some help, like support, subsidiaries, and they actually made like a middle ground, which I still think is pretty dumb. They made like this law for every other week we have to shut down the supermarkets, like the E-Marts, the Costco's, every other week and bi-weekly. So we don't have access to the supermarkets every weekend. So Saturdays and Sundays, they're closed every 2 weeks. And that's the logic behind that is to promote the traditional markets. But what I've observed is people just skip out on going to do the groceries because people who want to go to the supermarkets are going to go to the supermarkets, right? There's more variety there, there's more discounts there, there's more good quality products there, it's more fresh, it's more sanitary, it's more convenient, there's parking lots, it's air conditioned, it's more friendly. So why would you choose a traditional market over a supermarket? So the only people that go to traditional markets are still old people, and it's like withering out, and it's sad, but that's just like the free market, right? And I think the same thing is happening for K pharmacies, and unfortunately, we're living in a capitalistic state. These pharmacies are probably backed by a huge capital, so that might be a point of uh, thought, all these big capital companies just eating up local businesses. So that could be maybe criticism worthy. But right now, there's nothing to stop this, right? There's no legislation, there's no valid point. It's only just concerns from the pharmacists saying, like, oh, people are going to expand the categories or the spectrum of what purchasable drugs are, and then now you won't even need a prescription at the end for like these certain drugs and blah blah blah. I don't think that's gonna happen, but yeah. Um, Aaron Rin, thank you so much for the $2. Any chance of Chonsomi and Soyeji coming on? What? That's a random question. Okay, that's totally out of context, but I have no idea why you're asking, but thank you so much. Chonsomi and Soyeji coming on what? On my show? No. On TV? On their activities? Or what? Chonsomi has been active on YouTube a lot. I've seen a lot of her videos and reels. Yeah. Soyeji, I think she's doing some dramas recently. I haven't catched up on it, but yeah. You can go check it out, right? Mm-hmm. One of my former students run his local own traditional pharmacy, but his pharmacy is very nice and he caters to his clients. He specializes in things the chains don't. He's done very well. Yeah, exactly. Like it's every business is the survival of the fittest. It's about location, it's about unique selling points, it's about marketing, it's about like your skills and a combination of everything. And if the era changes and the trend changes and the logistics change and you don't adapt to that, your edge is not sharpened enough, then you will, wither out. just how it works. That's how the free market works, right? So yeah, I feel for them, and if I were in their shoes, I would feel very dreadful as well. But as a consumer and for the international folks, it's boosting K tourism as well. It's a nice place to stop by. So yeah. All right. So next news. Okay, so this is a little bit of an issue going on. Kanye West prank in Korea sparks racism backlash. A prank trend circulating on Korean social media is drawing growing criticism for racism after videos showed people wearing masks depicting the face of a rapper, Ye, known as Kanye West, to frighten family members. One widely shared clip uploaded to Instagram shows a woman opening her front door and asking, "Who is it?" in a trembling voice. A figure wearing a full face mask resembling a black man stands silently in the doorway and then pushes forward as if trying to enter. The woman screams, darts backwards, and runs into another room. Moments later, the prankster removes the mask and the two begin laughing. Realizing she has been the target of a prank, the mother yells in anger as the clip ends. The comments are like, who the F cares? But yeah. I mean, okay, what do you think about this? What do you think about this Ye mask? First of all, do you think this is racism? I would like to ask, first of all, though, if it were like this random, Asian guy, is like assuming it's the same race as us, if it's like a random Korean or Chinese guy's face mask, if it was like Jackie Chan, you got a Jackie Chan mask on, and you're standing, as this article says, in front of the door in the corridor, not saying anything after ringing the bell in the dark, I think that would be frightening too. So, I mean, we would have to look into the intent of why these people chose this specific mask. And I'm not trying to give them a pass or slide or anything, but it's just like an absence of information over there, a piece of information, whether we can actually deem this racism or not. But from my memory, this Kanye mask has been pretty popular for a while. I've seen it on the American Reels as well too. It's apparently sold on Amazon or Temu or whatever. So I think these people just got it. First of all, he's a very well-known celebrity. And it's like, without excluding the racism aspect of it, it's pretty funny, right? Like, like not trying to frighten people just by the fact that you're putting a mask on as a celebrity. It's pretty funny, right? But, I get why people see it as racism because, like, angle wise and optics wise, like, obviously you're only seeing black people, black masks over here. So, yeah, I get why. And you're not actually seeing any Jackie Chan mask or any, or who's a white guy that stands at like a Robert Downey Jr. mask or whatever. So I get that. I get why it can be seen as racism, and it's valid. And it could be used as an opportunity to educate people that this might be a sensitive thing as well too. But in particular, did these people have intent to look down upon black people? That's a separate question, I feel like. Yeah. Yeah. Intent is important to determine if something is racist, although something can be racist without racist intent. You pretty much summed up my thought over there. It kind of feels like they are playing into negative prejudices by wearing the mask. Yeah, I understand. I would think obviously, like, first of all, it's sold on the internet, and also he's a famous person, and also in terms of looks and skin color, like the tone palette is the most furthest from Asians. So it would have definitely like the contradicting effect when someone sees you. So yeah, but would like the fact is like, are these people actually trying to wear the masks and say like, oh, I think all black people are, criminals, so I'm gonna play that stereotype and I'm gonna frighten people? Maybe it's internalized and unconscious racism and it's playing into it nevertheless. result wise. That's where I agree. Like, intent or not, the result can be seen as racism, and that's valid. And if people point that out, that is valid. But maybe going overboard and saying like Koreans are racist because of this is another thing that deserves separate judgment. But yeah, that's my thought. Trump mask would be equally scary. Exactly. Like if you're wearing a Trump mask and you had a hoodie on and you're staring in the corridor and not answering, like when you after you ringing a bell, I think that would be scary too. Trump mask would be scary as hell. Look out your people and see Trump. Exactly. Honestly, if I saw any male at my door, regardless of race, lunging at me, I'd be scared. Am I supposed to be less frightened if Chaonu mask lunged at me? Exactly. You know? Yeah. Uh, yeah. Anything can be racism. This is like the people disguising themselves as clowns couples years ago. Oh yeah, the clown thing was pretty scary. hmm Uh, this is oh yeah yeah right. So, anyways, yeah. While it's true that some Koreans are racist for sure, it's a known fact. I hate people who actually deny it when you go to rural Korea and you see like the factories and how people mostly from Southeast Asia are being treated over there from the factory owners or the Korean residents, or you just go to some sort of communities or neighborhoods, and see how people are treated. Like, it's hard to say some Koreans are not racist, but at the same time, some Koreans are racist and not all Koreans are racist. And this is a universal thing that applies to every single country in the world. Like, I don't think there's like a significance in comparing, oh, is East Europe more racist than Korea? Is America more racist than Korea? And is Korea racist? And of course it's racist. There will be racist people all over the world, right? I'm not trying to brush it under anything. The thing is, like, because some people are racist and Korea is now becoming like very hot and popular in the media, seeing those cherry pickings, those negative incidents and painting Korea as like this racist land and this disgusting land nobody should enter is a very inaccurate depiction. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, anyways, uh that was a very weird happening that happened over this week. But in terms of racism, no, kind of a related subject. Should Korea's most iconic gate bear a Korean or Chinese sign, or both? I think this is a no-brainer, in my opinion. This is my personal opinion. So this is Gwanghwamun, where BTS recently did their iconic performance. It's the main gate to the Gyeongbok Palace, where the Joseon king used to live and do his politics. So you'll definitely visit this place when you're in Seoul. And the original signboard has this on it, the Chinese characters, Pit Kwang and Hwa and Mun Mun. It means become the light door. So once you pass this door, you become enlightened or you become light or whatever, something like that. Anyways, the difference is like this is the original version. This is also a polished version too. It was burnt down or something. So no, it wasn't burnt down. It was kind of like aged. So they probably renovated it. Anyways, the historically accurate version is the Chinese version over here. However, people are debating whether, we're not sending tributes to China anymore. We're an independent sovereign nation, and yeah, we have our own language structures, and the eras have changed. Like, we renovate these kind of things anyway, so we don't have a king. We're not a dynasty, so why should we preserve the Chinese writing on it when we have our own language? So people are saying we should change it to Gwanghwamun in Korean. The difference is, obviously the characters, but the way you read it. So Chinese, I'm not pretty sure actually for Chinese text and script. Last time I checked when I was learning Chinese, you actually read it from left to right, but maybe in the old days you read it from right to left, so that's why it's Kwanghwa Moon in this order. In Korean, it'll be right, left to right. But I feel like, this is a historical site, and I know ages change, but there's significance in preserving something that's historical. Even though you might not be proud about it, it gives you a reminder of what we were like back then and what we are now and how much we've developed and how we've become independent and how we're thriving, right? So I don't think there's much of a problem having a Chinese character signage on a national heritage, which is our biggest, gate to the royal palace. So that's my thought. And yeah, as much as I love Korean, it kind of like this architectural style, it was, back in the day, even now, modern day architecture and traditional architecture, everything is in sync. Like if you're going to add certain characters or aspects to the architecture, everything's in harmony. So I feel like for some reason, the Chinese letters fit the vibes even better than the Korean ones. The Korean ones aren't that bad, but it has kind of a mix and match kind of vibe to me. Yeah. And you know how much I'm biased against China, right? So think who this is coming from. Yeah. So keep the Chinese. It's authentic and historical. So I don't know. I agree. Ooh, this is really interesting. Yeah, it could be a debate. It could be a legit debate. I wouldn't be surprised that people actually want the Korean version and think that's okay. I could go with that as well too. At the end of the day, it's just like a signage, a signboard. But yeah, it's about heritage. It's not about language, but heritage. Keep the Chinese text to maintain the authenticity. Yeah, I agree too. I agree too. China check mark. Why not put both? Then aesthetically, it would be kind of weird. What if the general public is saying sorry? What's the general public saying? The general public, I think, is mostly keep the Chinese part, but like there are a little bit more progressive people saying like, there's a lot of anti-Chinese sentiment over here. I wouldn't be surprised if that's fueling a little bit more towards this controversy as well too. But I think the mass majority is still like let's preserve the Chinese, but there's like a liberal progressive side that's like let's tear down everything from the past that like confines us from being free and like an independent nation and being proud of our own actual heritage. So yeah, it's like like I don't know if this is a right comparison or not, but like it just came out on the top of my head right now. But like I read some articles related to the U.S. history where there was a random statue of what was it, Lincoln or a certain president somewhere, or Christopher Columbus somewhere, and a lot of people were calling, oh, this is actually a shameful history. That person should not be respected because it's either related to colonizing or slavery or something like that. And they were like, we need to tear down this statue because ages have changed and we are now educated that, these people should not be put on a pedestal and stuff like that. So, I mean, I guess again, it's not a direct comparison, but it feels like, in the essence of like times change and like perspectives change and blah blah blah. So whether we should correct historical monuments or statues, the question falls down similarly to that. And I don't know. Yeah. It's a reminder how far we progress. Exactly. I would wish people see it in that sense. The aesthetic as well and design harmony. General Lee? What do you mean, General Lee? Do Koreans still use Hanja in their daily lives? No, not much. I don't even know if they actually teach Hanja in elementary school. So it was a required subject for me when I was in elementary, middle school. So I actually know a good fair of Hanja. I know how to read Chinese characters to some extent, like probably like 30% of the Chinese characters, because we had to take tests and all that. And back in the day when it was like my grandma and parents' generation, the newspaper, 50% was in Chinese character. And it was you were seen as an intelligent person if you were able to read and write Chinese, especially in the Joseon era and up to like early modern Korean times. But now, like, because we have our own language and there's nothing superior about Chinese characters, people are just like getting rid of Chinese characters. We can totally 100% communicate with Hangul only. So I don't think the new generation would be able to read Chinese. And a lot of people are using pure Korean words for names as well. My name is like all consisted of three Chinese characters, but I'm seeing more and more pure Korean names. So that's another trend. Yeah. Um yeah. So okay. Okay. So anyways, this was an interesting thing to think about. Yeah, what would your country do if you had a similar situation? Like, I mean, China wasn't particularly a colonizer, but they were always thought of as like the king, and we were the serv what do you call it? The not the servant, but the shinha. I don't know what that is in English. 영어로. The no, not the subject, the vassal. Yeah, the vassal. Whatever. So we always had to pay tribute. They were always like superior in terms of like studies, moralities, or whatever. Confucianism all came from there. So, yeah. Okay. This is very interesting. Vessel state. Yes. Okay, let's skim through the last few bits of news over here because I gotta go. But this is very interesting. The impeached president, Yoon, received over 800K in inmate funds. This is a record. Yeah. He was taken into custody July 10th, 2025 for a second time, and he's received a total of 1.24 billion won. That's like 800K. Oh my gosh. The total amount he's received is about 4.6 times the annual president's salary for 2025, which stood at 271.77 million won. Most of the funds were withdrawn from his account in more than 350 transactions, averaging about 1.4 withdrawals per day. Bro has been busy. Dude's been busy in jail. You know? This is why, like, even if you fail in the political scene, like even if you're like so controversial that you get yourself locked up in jail for martial law, it's so funny that he earned 4 times more than the annual presidential salary just by funds, like donations. Because people are supporting him. They want him back. It's the same as it's the same as MAGA. If Trump were to be impeached and he were to be put in prison, I think he would get a lot of massive donations and rallies across the country with his supporters, right? So, yeah, that's exactly what's happening and good life, eh? Yeah. How did he get money during his prison? Well, there's a policy where if even if you're imprisoned, people can send you money so that you can use that money to, buy like food or cake or whatever they sell in the prison or something like that. They have choco pies or whatever. So yeah, it's called 영치금 in Korean. I don't know what that is also in English. Let me look it up. 영치금. Mortuary money, whatever that is. Mortuary money. No, that's for condolence money. No, that's a wrong translation. Uh yeah. Anyways, you're allowed to do that. Wow. How many people are supporting it? I wouldn't say a huge majority, but definitely a big minority. A very solid minority is supporting him. Yeah. Didn't he get the death penalty? Yeah, he was prosecuted. The prosecutor side gave him the death penalty. I think he got like a life sentence or something, and he's appealing. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, mortuary is more for funerals. Exactly. That was a wrong translation. Okay, on to the next news. So, good life the president got. Government tightens grip on excessive private education, English kindergartens. The government is maybe going to ban drill-based instruction that is hyper-focused on memorization for children under 36 months, while limiting such education to 3 hours per day for children aged 36 months and older. So, yeah, they are actually banning memorization-based institutions for children that are under 3 years old. And even if you're over 3 years old, they're confined to only 3 hours per day. This is a very big victory, in my opinion. The private education market for young children has expanded abnormally, as seen in the age 4 and age 7 exam phenomenon. So there are specific exams for you to enter private academies, English kindergartens, and these kids are studying and memorizing stuff by the age of 4 to 7 to enter these institutions. That is crazy. Like, my life was miserable enough starting from elementary school when I started going to these hagwons and academies overnight, day by day, 3 per day, math, English, PE, science, writing, whatever, reading, blah, 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 blah. It was miserable enough, but imagine that starts at the age of 4. At the age of 4, you should be out and about and touching grass and riding roller skates or whatever. Playing soccer. The age 4 and age 7 exam refers to a phenomenon in Korea which young children are prepared for competitive entrance exams to English language kindergartens or selective elementary school programs. This is so depressing. This is why I do not want to raise my kid in Korea, because I've gone through it and it seems like it's become worse. I hope just AI wipes out all these jobs. Actually, not, but this is just coming out of frustration right now. I just hope AI actually, in a very utopian limelight scenario, it just replaces all these intellectual jobs that human beings don't have to like cram and memorize all these ridiculous stuff that we never use in our life, and actually these kids can find what they want to do actually in contributing society. They could be, I don't know, they could be welders, they could be farmers, they could be plumbers, they could be electricians, they could be nuclear scientists. All of them don't have to be like marketers or like coders that work behind cubicles. And yeah, they could be creative people, they could be YouTubers. I think vocational education is more important, like finding what you want to do in life, because at the end of the day, like, what is the purpose of life? No, not a lot of people have the answer to it, so might as well fulfill what you really want to do and go for happiness, like what you really enjoy doing. But yeah, trapping these people from the age of 4 and 7, cramming the math, English, science, facts and all that, memorizing it, I don't think that's helpful, especially in the age of AI as well too. Like ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini is going to be better than you however you memorize stuff. Yeah. Okay. Aaron Rin, thank you. Off topic, we need a David interviews hotties. Okay, you're a very off-topic guy. I like that energy, and thank you for the $2 as well too. And I really want that David interviews hottie sections too. Yes, I definitely agree. Yeah. Next, in womb hagwons. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I actually, you know what? There isn't in womb hagwons, but I actually know people around me that actually, like when they're pregnant, they make the babies listen to English nursery, like fables or whatever, English English spoken tapes, and they make the baby hear it in the womb. I'm not kidding you. I'm not joking. For educational purposes. Apparently, psychologically, if the baby is more familiar to a specific language once they're born, they're more favorable to like pick it up easier. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I feel like I can find it right now. 태교 영어. See? Like look at this stuff. Like this is a random column. I just English prenatal education really works. We actually tried it out. Recently, there has been a boom in English prenatal education among expectant mothers. The belief is that exposing an unborn baby to English will enable the child to speak the language well in the future. Where there's no clear research about it, a lot of people still do it. The mother exposing a fetus to two languages. A research team from the University of British Columbia in Canada published findings in Psychological Science stating that children who hear two languages in the womb show interest in both immediately after birth and are able to distinguish that the two languages are different. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I've heard of pregnant women playing classical music, but not this. I know, that's just too much, right? So, why so much craze after English? It's like English replaced Mandarin for the community. Well, yeah, English is just the universal language, and it is a fact that still in our world, if you're good at English, you can have more opportunities and information accessible to you. Yeah, so I feel bad for these kids, but hope they have a good life. Okay, I really need to go, so skim through. So why is Korean chatting app KakaoTalk suddenly surging in Russia? It's because Russia is banning all these other apps. The Kremlin is, you know, trying to ban all these apps that have autonomous operations. So Russian authorities attempt to control user expression and the flow of information by banning encrypted messenger services. So KakaoTalk is on the rise. Yeah. Kakao's messenger app boasted an average of 46.35 million monthly active users in Korea. It's more than 90% of the whole country using KakaoTalk. And despite the numbers, the messenger app never took overseas. That was very weird. Whereas Line, which is from Naver, is pretty much heavily used in Japan and some places in Southeast Asia. But in a sudden and ironic development, KakaoTalk shot to the top of Russia's App Store in March, following signs that Moscow would begin blocking Telegram. So yeah, despite Telegram being a Russian-made service and widely used by the Russian public, state authorities, even soldiers on the battlefield, the Kremlin blames Telegram as a source of terrorism and crime. Whoa. Putin doesn't want people to talk ill of him, so he's throwing a hissy fit. So KakaoTalk's not encrypted? Interesting. I don't know about the encryption technology, but Telegram is that one company that's like, they will not give out your information no matter what. That's why a lot of politicians and a lot of like criminals use Telegram. No matter what, you can permanently delete the logs of your conversations, that from what I know. And also, even if like the FBI or a international investigation organization requests Telegram, like, oh, we think this person is in suspicion for like an international crime or human trafficking or whatever. So like he used Telegram to communicate. We have like a warrant or international warrant or whatever. Telegram is that company that's gonna say F you. We don't give you information. So they've been known for that, and that's why a lot of people use it. Apparently, they bent the rule for one thing. I think it was for like minors, like pedophiles and stuff. I think I read it somewhere, but overall the rule is ironclad. They don't provide any information. But for Kakao Talk, I think it might be different. Yeah, if you have a warrant, probably from the government, you'll probably able to like unlock all these conversations. And Russia likes those kind of things, right? Okay, last news of today. Entry mid-level white-collar jobs are disappearing as AI takes on the grunt work. Is this a good thing or bad thing? In Korea's corporate ladder, the middle rung is starting to wobble. Entry and mid-level white-collar jobs are shrinking as companies replace routine tasks with AI. The impacts are no longer limited to reduced hiring. As companies restructure and streamline operations, younger workers are increasingly facing pressure to retire voluntarily. Companies are already tightening hiring in response to AI adoption in major corporations favored by young job seekers. There is even a reversal underway with more senior managers than junior level employees. Look at this. Under 30 is plummeting. Age 50 plus is going up. Wow, what a great graph, right? In an aging society. AI. Wow, way to go, right? Yeah, so in fields like data research, coordination, documentation writing, basic coding, translation, interpretation, all the paperwork, all the administrative, government work, it can be replaced by AI. Yeah, so we're living in this kind of age. You got to adapt, or, it's the survival of the fittest. I actually, if you've been listening to my Patreon, I've actually lost a job, a freelance job position, thanks to AI. I was very depressed about it, but yeah, I'm trying my best to survive in this AI era with YouTube and all that. So yeah, hopefully I can. So in order to help me, if you could, please make sure to like and subscribe. Please check out my Patreon if you want exclusive content. I did a watch party for the BTS documentary. I'm going to do a watch party for the upcoming, in 2 days, BTS Run BTS 2.0. So going to be watching that with you guys as well. Very happy. So please support me on Patreon. It's the best way to do it. Only $5 for those perks, $10 for an exclusive podcast. I'm glad to announce that Piroso is coming back soon. So yeah, look forward to that as well. And yes, if you want to support me on PayPal, it would be really appreciated. But yes, my battery just died, so perfect timing. I'll be frozen on the screen, but I'll just say bye-bye over here. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend. I'll see you next week.